Hi guys, it's Louis from the Barbican Broadcast. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So today's episode is all about armaments and what I'm going to be slinging on this Giga-Gargant. So as you can see, I have created a bit of a trash heap here, and I'm going to go through each and every bit as we go. So to start with, this is actually, for those who don't know, a shisha pipe. So they're normally the ones that you get, disposable ones. I actually bought a number of these for like 50p each. They're wonderful because actually once you put them on to a tank, now here is actually the first ORK conversion tank I ever made. Really over engineered, bit silly, but its only gun is a shisha pipe. So really happy with how that turned out. Next up, we've got the quintessential chainsaws, which are wonderful pieces of kit which you can get in the UK around Halloween. So what I've decided is I'm going to be cutting it down probably about here, and only be keeping the front bit, and then literally streamlining the rest of the chainsaw, cutting off all the bits and bobs that are hanging off, and just basically making it a bit more stunted. And of course, with it being an ORK vehicle, I had to bulk it out and get two. If it's not bulky, it's not ORKy. Next up, we've got a horrid amalgamation of Lego and a little bicarbonate of soda pot with a bit of cardboard riveting around the edges. Now, I thought this was a wonderful addition to make, because what I could do is mount this underneath the chainsaw. So it's almost sort of melee, but also it could be a boarding torpedo, or it could just be a sort of missile that bores itself into whatever it's attacking. I believe what inspired this was the Krieg siege drill, which was a wonderful piece, I think done by 412. Now this is a a bit of a random one. So I actually noticed that my sister-in-law had bought a Korean plastic tin can sort of looking thing whilst I was in Reading, and here's a picture of it. So what I thought would be really nice was to make this into a bit of a Wallace and Gromit inspired rocket missile. Now the next one here is unpainted, as you can see. So a lot of EVA foam went into the construction of it. It was a really nice weekend project. So what I'm hoping to do is probably mount them on the back of the Giga-Gargant to bulk it out the back, though I do have some really quite cool plans for the back of the Giga-Gargant. So this is the old beast, the old weaponry, which I just felt it just did not click. I wasn't vibing with it. So what I'm thinking of actually doing is to take off the sort of Gatlin part of it, which was an old Nerf gun, and using it at the very top. So I might cut away the sides, flip it upside down, and then hopefully going to just put it on top of the shoulders. I think maybe on the left hand side gun. Oh, well, to be honest, when I flip it over like that, it looks really quite cool. But and it looks very Red Dwarfy, doesn't it? But no, so I just thought it wasn't really up to scratch, up to snuff with what I wanted to achieve. And essentially, this is why I wanted to redo the entire project. We also have till rolls, cardboard rolls for days, so they'll make some nice, smaller sized weaponry across the entire project. But what I wanted to do is ensure that the Giga-Gargant was never accused of having not enough DACA, but also there is a thin line between too much being a bit ludicrous and too little, which is very unorky. So I've got all these bits of gubbins that I'll be putting on, and this awesome, incredibly thick cardboard roll, which I absolutely adore. So that might actually take pride of place in the center, although I have been making some plans to make a volley gun, which might take precedence. So it's these bits and pieces that we'll be needing to take the back sections off them, just so that they can sit nice and flush together. But the idea is obviously that's going to be this sort of chest mounted weaponry, so it's got to be big, it's got to be quite impressive. And then of course I saw this and I just had to buy it. Now this was probably the most expensive single piece on the Gargant, which is I think took me back about £4. I bought a number of years ago. I haven't used this one, but I did use another one on a smaller project of mine which I started about 2 or 3 years ago. It came out quite nice. It took a lot of effort because I didn't quite like the front of it and how it sort of looks. But I did see that Midwinter Minis actually mounted that as one of its main guns. So that's pretty cool to think that it's already got some rules floating around in the universe. And to finish, we have some Nerf tubes and gun barrels. So again, they might go into the sort of groin gun. I don't really like saying groin gun, but I think that was the colloquial term for them. So there we are for episode 4 of the Giga Gargant project. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful start to your weekend, and I will see you next time. Thanks ever so much.